Hey, what's going on?
And we're back. Today we've got the second series of the Mariners season, Game 5. The first match of, is this a three-game series, Jack? Three-game series?
Yeah, 3 game series.
All right, sorry, we had a bit of lag there. First game of the three-game series versus the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, aka the Halo Wars. Um, First of all, we want to say big thank you to anybody who's tuned in so far. Second of all, I apologize. Yesterday, my stream cut out about 10 minutes in when we were doing the pregame. We were both gonna only plan on doing a. Oh, hold on.
Yo,
All
you
right.
cut out.
Hey, can you hear me again?
Yes.
All right, here, one sec. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Um, yeah. Anyway, you guys should be able to hear Jack better. I just adjusted the sound. Anyway. So, second of all, I wanted to say sorry for yesterday. We had that cutout at about 3:45, about 10 minutes in. Didn't get to finish going over the lineup yesterday, so we're just going to do post game today for Game 4. That's where we'll begin. Then we'll get into Game 5, as well as talk about the rest of the MLB a little bit. Jack, you want to start us off? Um, let's see. Let's start out. Let's start out just by jumping into yesterday's game, Game 4. The rubber match, 4-game series. Um, and Jack, what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, it was sloppy. I'll tell you that right now. I know that it's probably we got off to a hot start against a pretty shitty pitcher. We took advantage of him. We chased him, and then once their bullpen hit, or actually no, I wanted to start off. Kendall Graveman, who started yesterday, he was on a freaking roll.
Kendall Graveman went on a roll.
Through the first 3 innings, and then all of a sudden he just faltered and he gave up a bunch of runs. And let's just say we were never really able to get out of that deep hole we got in.
Yeah, we put ourselves in a little bit of a hole after. I mean, Graveman had what, 5 good innings, 4 good
Yeah,
innings, 5 good innings,
and then it just got away. And then it just got away from him.
And his first start back from Tommy John. Honestly, we'll have to take that start from Kendall.
Yeah.
And like I said, so when before we fell apart, I was working out, listening to the game. I saw we were up 3-0 as I was leaving the Mac. Got my workout in. I'm feeling real good. Then I'm listening on the radio for a while. I didn't get to watch any of yesterday's game. I only got to listen on the radio. But I was like, and when Jack told me that the game was starting to slip away from us, I was like, hey man, we gotta just take the positives where we can get them, and we gotta realize that this year is gonna be filled with stuff like this. Like we're gonna just be disappointed constantly. We don't
Right.
have the team, we don't have the mindset to compete. Like we're not really competing for wins and losses this year. We're really just trying to get better.
Exactly.
And it's hard to watch a team that's doing that, but
Right.
that's
Yeah.
and it's harder even to dissect a team that's doing that, but that's what we're doing here. Yeah, Jack. So then once we moved past Graveman, what happened against and Josh James obviously got shelled. We shelled Josh James like you said.
Yeah, and then their bullpen is just really good. We were never able to get out of it.
Yeah, we just couldn't quite get. We just kind of put ourselves in a hole that we couldn't get out of, and we were battling back. It was 8-4, then it was 8-5, and I think
Yeah, and then
ended 8-5, right?
Yes.
So too bad, so sad. We took a game from the Astros. We were really happy. Me and Jack wanted to get the 2-game series split, but it didn't happen. And we can't dwell on one game because this is baseball, especially in in coronavirus times. Can't dwell on one game. But what were you saying?
And you know what? We're only on game 5, and we have 55 more games to go, so we have time to turn stuff around.
That's exactly right. All right. Moving on. After yesterday's game that puts us at 1-3 on the season, we move on to today where we've got a 3-game series versus the Angels, and and me and Jack this season are, I guess we just decided to call it the Halo Wars. We don't want to call any like team. We want to have like a fun, mean nickname for every team that we play, especially our divisional rivals. So like, if you guys can help us think of one, leave it in the comments. If not, we're just gonna be calling this series with the Angels the Halo Wars, the worst Halo game. You know.
That's right.
Yeah. So today, let's look at the lineup first of all.
Yep.
So we've got Justice Sheffield going against Patrick Sandoval. Sheffield obviously was the main piece we got in that James Paxton trade from New York, and he struggled last year in AAA, moved down to AA, dominated with the non-juice baseballs, moved back up to AAA, eventually moved back up to the majors, and he was spotty-ish, right, Jack, in the majors? Do you remember? Hello? I can't hear you, Jack. Alright, I'm going to call Jack back. I apologize for this, guys. I'm going to figure out this Wi-Fi situation and everything another time. Alright. Let's hopefully Jack can pick up. If not, then I'll just end the show pretty early. I'll just review. Anyway, well, Jack, we're FaceTiming Jack. So, Justice Sheffield. All right, Jack, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, we lost you for a second there, bud. But I just was gonna say we can get into today's pregame. Starting with this pitchers, we got Justice Sheffield and Patrick Sandoval. And do you remember Justice Sheffield last year? How he did in the majors?
For the most part, he was pretty. There were definitely some bright spots for him, but most of the time it was just a lack of consistency for him.
Yeah, he was inconsistent. He's a young pitcher. It's to be expected. To be honest, today, this is the end of our 6-man rotation, right, Jack?
No, we got Justin Dunn tomorrow.
Excuse me, this is the end of our 5-man rotation. We've got our 6th guy, Justin Dunn, going tomorrow, who I'm a big fan of. We'll save that for tomorrow. So Justice is an inconsistent young pitcher, and we're just going to have to struggle through with it. He's not as young as Marcus, or he is younger than Marcus, and he's more inconsistent, and he's not as polished, but he should have the most potential of anybody on the staff right now. Would you agree, Jack? Definitely. So we just need to see some good stuff out of him. That's the number one key to today's game. See some good stuff out of Sheffield. The negative, like if he gets blown up after 5 really good innings, then we're gonna have to come to the post game and be like, hey, we're happy about those 5 good innings, even though you got blown up in the 6th.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's Justice Sheffield. We'll talk more about him in the post game. And Patrick Sandoval, do you remember this guy from last year much, Jack?
Well, he was in 10 games last year. He was 0-4 with a 5.03 ERA, 39 innings pitched, and 42 strikeouts. So my guess is that he came in as a sort of a late season call up.
Yeah. I'm seeing those same stats. I think it looks like he's pretty much just a reliever he's been a reliever career for the Angels, and he started 9 games last year, actually.
Yeah, he was a starter that got called up in September.
Pardon me, I forgot that. So this guy actually started 9 games. Anyway, it doesn't look like he's too formidable. We don't really remember him. That shows you how. Let's see if we played against him at all. I'm going to go peep his 2019 game logs.
Yeah.
So he didn't pitch against us. This is his first ever outing against us. Yeah, he looks like, right, so 42 strikeouts in 39 innings. That's his best stat, I'd say. More than a strikeout an inning. Can't really tell what he has. Looks like we're just going to have to talk about this guy in the postgame because we don't know much about him. He's got a couple minor league awards, but, pretty standard. A 23-year-old, so I guess he's pretty young as well.
Exactly.
All right, let's move on to the lineup. So so starting out, Shed Long batting leadoff. I'm not the biggest fan of. I'm more of a Malik Smith leadoff guy. Jack, what do you think?
I sort of agree with you, but I think at the same time, I think for a season like this, you just want to get experience with Shed Long in that leadoff spot, just because, in the next couple of years, we're going to be talking about leadoff hitter Shed Long. So, I think you just got to get him used to that idea.
See, and this
sort of like an experiment with it.
Yeah, so the experimenting, I'm all for, but this is one thing. This is kind of a theme of the season, getting guys experience, trying to get guys used to roles, trying to, put guys who aren't major league ready in certain positions to be major league ready. And it's one thing when we're playing Kyle Lewis, right? We're playing Kyle Lewis in center, trying to, just get him a lot of at-bats and get him a lot of time in the outfield. I think that's exactly what we should do. It's pretty simple like that. When we're saying, Jose Marmolejo is a 28-year-old guy who might be able to play utility for us someday, right?
Right.
And then we're starting him in the outfield. To me, I don't think we bet on. I don't want to put guys in the lineup just because they might be a utility guy for us someday. If we're putting him in the lineup as a young guy, I want him to be, a starter, a solid starter next year. That's my rule. And as we were saying, Shed Long, I don't think is our leadoff hitter of the future. I think he's, a utility guy of the future, maybe. I understand them putting him in the lineup a lot, although I'd still rather have D. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of him batting leadoff. I don't think he needs. I'd rather have Kyle Lewis batting leadoff for all I care. I don't know. Shed Long, he doesn't have a great eye. He's inexperienced. He's not you can't tell me Shed Long is the future of the M's. Maybe in the utility spot, but not starting. And I hope he hears this and uses it as motivation and becomes our everyday second baseman. I hope you do. But I'm just giving my best guesses as to what could happen. So Shed Long leadoff. Evan White second. We both like Evan White. Shout out to congratulations, first career home run yesterday. And was that his first career RBI as well? I think, that was his first career RBI as well.
He had an RBI.
Or no, he had an RBI the day before.
Yes,
He had his first RBI on Sunday, but first major league home run. Shout out to Evan White. Then third, we've got Kyle Lewis. I think he's the best hitter on the team right now. I think that's a spot for him. I'm glad to see him in there every day. Kyle Seager at 4 batting cleanup. I'm totally all for it. Let the Kyles mash together. They've got something going from the end of last year. Continue it. And let's just hope for the best for Kyle. Obviously, probably not a huge part of the future, but a great veteran to have. Tim Lopes, DHing. Lopes has had a great bat recently. The outfield is packed, obviously with Dylan Moore playing left and Max Smith playing right today. I like seeing Lopes in the lineup though, even if we're using the DH spot and batting him fifth. Although Vogelbach getting so many days off is worrying to me.
He did on opening day. I gotta admit, he did not look good. He did not look like his normal self.
But he was our all-star last year. He hit 30 homers. We need to give this guy a chance to hit himself back into, hit himself out of the slump more than we need to give Shed Long or, Jose Marmolejo's time for the future. I want to see Vogelbach in the lineup. That's the one thing, but I like Lopes, so I'm good with Lopes. Moving on to 6, we got Austin Nola. He's been catching well. Great.
Yes.
Really proud of him as a backup, both defensively and offensively. And we're going to talk more about Austin Nola later this year and during this year. He's a guy that I really like having on the team. I think he's an infectious personality, and I actually have some first-hand observations from Safeco Field last year, and I wrote an article about how the spirit that he brought to the team, was infectious and keeping everybody, from just being boring, really.
Right.
JP batting seventh. He's one of the best hitters on this team, and he's still young, still going to develop. Keep playing him every day at short. I don't care if he's
That is
batting seventh. That's all good.
That is a very interesting move.
Wait, would you repeat that, Jack? You lagged out. All right, here, I'm going to call you back. Yeah, we'll call Jack back one more time. Like I was said, JP's batting seventh. And obviously, I mean, I'm a big supporter of playing JP every day. Let's see if I can. If we don't get Jack back here, then I'll just end it and we'll go live tonight, the post game. Yeah, so JP 7. Dylan Moore is going to be batting 8. This is his first action of the year in left field. He can play. He's somebody that we had, different opinions on last year. Kind of mixed bag. All right, there's Jack. All right. Hello?
Yeah.
All right, you're back.
Yes.
All right,
Sorry about that.
All good. So we were talking about JP.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was saying that it's good to have JP in the lineup, even if he's batting seventh. And what were you saying?
I was saying that it's a very interesting move, put him hitting seventh today, because in the past we've seen him hit second.
Right.
And I just think that seventh is a very interesting spot. I think he bats seventh on opening day as well. So this is it's a little bit interesting, I think, in terms of where they put him. I think against left-handers he's hitting seventh, and since Sandoval is a left-hander, that's the thing I've noticed as well.
Yeah, and that's good. I mean, I hope that I think JP is the type of guy. His style of hitting, it's pretty he can have a 3-hit day any day, no matter who the pitcher is, But he can also get struck out a couple times and not be seeing the ball. He reminds me of Gene Segura in that way.
Right.
He's an inconsistent average hitter kind of, and contact hitter.
Right.
But I think he'll get better as his career progresses. And we just got to keep playing him. So good. And he's one of our best defensive players at short.
Yes.
Dylan Moore at 8th. And we've had a mixed bag on Dylan Moore.
This is his first action of the year.
First action of the year, but last year we were very mixed on Dylan Moore. He'd have days where he'd have a homer, and he didn't ever stand out though,
I remember early, his first game, I think it was, he had I remember this game very clearly because I was working it. It was against the Red Sox, and he made 3 errors in the 9th inning. And we blew the lead. Remember that game?
Yep, I remember. Yep. Oh man, that's where the mixed bag on Dylan Moore comes from. He was like our worst fielder last year.
And the only reason why he was in the game is because he pinch ran for Seager late in the game.
That's right. And so his fielding got a little bit less spotty, but it was never impeccable.
Yeah.
And between him and Tim Beckham, this team was excruciating to watch in the field. So let's just hope that he's worked on his outfield defense a lot. And he should do fine at the plate. He should do as good as any of our other guys will,
remember also
him and Marmoleos, it's the hot bats, the one's gonna play. But yeah.
Yeah. Also, I remember this as well. The last time Dylan Moore played in left field was Felix's last game last year. And This was, I don't know if you remember this, but Felix's last full inning that ended was a tremendous diving catch over his shoulder that got out of a big jam in the inning, and Felix was all pumped up about it, and that was easily his best highlight of the year.
Now I remember that because that was like one of the last couple. That was really the last That wasn't the last out that he got, was it? He got one out the next inning, right?
That was the last time that we would ever see Felix get extremely pumped up, because Felix had a motivation, he was known for getting extremely pumped up when he got out of big situations like that.
I mean, and I can tell you, I was bawling. I was sitting in my frat house watching the game, and I was bawling. Tears of joy and sadness and growing up. It was a very emotional moment, I mean, for both of us and many other Seattleites and M's fans. But
yes.
And just fans of the King himself. But, man, so Dylan Moore, obviously he improved last year. He showed improvement. He showed that he, it seemed like he cared. He didn't seem like a guy who didn't care out there. He's, between him and Marmoleos, I couldn't tell you which one's going to be the better hitter every day, right? But if one of them manages to stand out this season, I'll be happy. And if they both do well, but, Dylan Moore is the type of guy where I'm hoping for the best. Anything positive he does is a surplus. Anyway, the last guy in the lineup is Malix today. He's had, how many days off did he have? Just one?
He's had 2 days off.
He took two. He only played half the first series. I want to see Malix in every game. I want to see Malix in every game at least. I mean, whether you pinch run him late, whatever you do. I think Malix Smith is an everyday player for the future of this ball club. You can't and I don't want to see him putting Dylan Moore out there and Jose Marmoleos out there if they can't find time for Malix Smith. His hitting is some of the most frustrating on the team. His defense looks spotty to begin the year. He's having a slow start just like last year, but I think we need to let him battle out of this. This guy led the majors in stolen bases last year, didn't he, Jack?
Yes, he did.
After not being in the majors for the first month, after getting sent down after like a week and then coming back up like a month or 5 weeks later, he still led the majors in stolen bases. That should tell you that shouldn't tell you all you need to know, right? But how about the guy has been a 290 hitter in the AL East with Tampa Bay 1 year? He has been a successful leadoff hitter, and he has played better defense than this, which leads us to believe that, the struggles that he's having have more to do with us than it has to do with him. Or more to do with, the world, the baseball overall than it has to do with his talent level is there. He's the type of guy who we need to get more time.
Yeah. Definitely.
More than anybody on this team, I think. Malix Smith probably needs the most time to develop. And with that being said, we'll take one look at the Angels lineup. David Fletcher.
It should be pretty much the regulars today.
It's their regulars. They got David Fletcher batting first and playing short. Mike Trout batting second, playing center. Anthony Rendon back in the lineup. Is this his first game all year?
This is his first game of the year, yes.
So, big signing, playing third base for $30 million. We got Justin Upton in left, batting cleanup after Rendon. We got Shohei Ohtani hitting fifth and DHing. We've got Albert Pujols hitting sixth and playing first. Tommy La Stella batting seventh and playing second. And Max Stassi is going to be the catcher today. He's batting eighth and Taylor Ward is going to round it out, batting ninth, playing right field. The game starts at 6:40 Pacific time. It's on Root Sports and local LA Angels, all that. We're going to do a post game. I'm going to be we should both be able to watch the game today. So we'll be excited to see you guys there. And with that being said, this has been Mariners pregame, 2020 Mariners coverage, and it's been great. See you guys after the game later. And yeah, Jack, you got anything you want to say to them before we leave?
Go M's.
Go M's. The Halo Wars begin tonight.
Yes.
All right.